Hello guys. So in this session we will learn how to validate Jenkins file using Visual Studio Code. So let's start. So here I mentioned some prerequisites. So the first is we need a Jenkins server. Then we need a user credential to Jenkins server. After that Visual Studio Code install on your PC. And the next is Jenkins Pipeline Linter connector for Visual Studio Code. So in my previous session, we have learned how to install Jenkins server, right? So in this server, we need a user credential to Jenkins server. So I have already installed Jenkins server on my Windows EC2. So after that, so that's some prerequisite. So how to validate Jenkins files using Visual Studio Code? So let's understand first. We need to install Jenkins Pipeline Linter connector extension in our Visual Studio Code. And after that, go to the settings. And in settings, we need to fill this field. Connector pass, that means we need to enter our user password, Jenkins password. Then after that, connector URL. So here we need to enter your Jenkins server URL and the format is like this. And after that, connector user. So in connector user, we need to enter our username, Jenkins username. And now it's done. The next is we need to open Jenkinfiles and our Jenkinfiles here. So this is our example of how a Jenkinfiles look. You can see the example. So this is the sample example. And after that, and next is need open command palette in Visual Studio Code. So how to open in Visual Studio Code, go to the view and then open command palette and then write Jenkins, validate Jenkins. And after that, if your syntax is valid, then you will have a message something validate successful or not, right? So let's start. So now firstly we need to these four prerequisite. So let's check. So I have already installed Jenkins server and I have created user with this credential and I have already installed Visual Studio Code. So now we need to install this pipeline linter connection. So first you need to install this. So let's start. So go to the Windows EC2 and here you can see here this is my Jenkins dashboard and you can see my username is DevOpsint and here I have already installed this Visual Studio Code. So firstly, let's install Jenkins linter connector in Visual Studio Code. So let's go to this extension. So how to? So here you can see the extensions and the shortcut is Control plus Shift plus X. So go to the extension and search Jenkins and here is Jenkins Pipeline linter connector. So let's install. So it's done. Now go to the settings and go to the extension settings. And here we need to enter this field. So I have already installed. So that's why here my Jenkins password is DevOps. And after that, my Jenkins URL is like this. The format is like this. Here your Jenkins URL and after that /pipeline model converter validate. And then your username. So my Jenkins username is DevOpsint. Here you can see the username DevOpsint. Okay. Now save this. Okay, it's done. Now close the settings. And now after that, open your file. And here open your Jenkins file. So let's create, click on new. Here, so close this and let's create Jenkins files. Okay, and here we need to create our Jenkins files. So as I told you, our Jenkins file look like this. Here you can see. You can see the Jenkinfiles. Okay, so let's start. So first of all, here we need to enter pipeline. Then open curly bracket. After that, agent any. Then open your curly bracket and then stage. And in stages, let's enter first stage. And in stage, open our brackets. And in bracket, our stage name. So that's our first Jenkins stage. So that's why my stage name is Jenkins first stage. And after that, open curly bracket. And in bracket, I'm going to enter step. So my first step is here. And in my first step, I'm going to print using echo. And the message I want to print is welcome to DevOps. Okay. So now it's done. Let's check the brackets. Okay, it's done. Pipeline bracket. After that stage. Okay, here. Oh, here is okay. Now it's okay. So there is no any need to open bracket in agent any. So now it's perfect. Let's check. Yeah, you can see there is no any brackets. Okay. Now save the file and go to the command palette. So how to go? So go to the views and open command palette. Validate Jenkins file. And you can see Jenkins file successfully validated, right? That means here I mentioned, you can see if the syntax of your file is valid, then you will have the message like this. So here you can see we have successfully got this message, Jenkins files successfully validated. That means our file is validated. So it's done. So thank you for watching.